this home workout with you, doing it in the smallest space possible. Okay, so I suppose this is one way of showing you how little space you actually need to do these kind of home workouts. So I'm on the top of my landing, okay, can't even open out my arms. That's as much space as I need. Okay, so our warm-up is, first thing we're going to do is a squat sequence. Okay, so squat sequence, all this is just a good, it's about 2 minutes or so, just bending in your squat, okay, and getting right down, opening up the hips and stuff like that. So getting into your squat stance to start, and all I want is to do is drop down into the bottom of your squat. So it's bottom right down, okay, keeping that chest up, back nice and straight, and I just want you to hold down that bottom position for about 30 seconds. Okay, once you have the 30 seconds are up, okay, all we're going to do then is I want you to look at the soles of your feet. So we're going to try and keep the hips down, looking at the bottom of my right foot, bottom of my left foot, keeping those hips sitting down. You're going to do 5 to each side. Once you have that done, okay, I'm going to hold my hands together, clenching my fists. Okay, I'm going to have my elbows inside my knees, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly try and push my knees in against my elbows, slowly building it up. So I've just got a small little bit of pressure, elbows going out, knees coming in. Then I'm just going to build and build, so slightly more pressure, and then we're just going to go for a max effort, and we're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax in. And then we're going to try and push my knees out and use my elbows to assist that. And again, you slowly build that up. Okay, we're going to hold, pushing out. Knees are being pushed out, turning them right out. Again, slowly building, increase until you get to max effort, and then you hold that for about 5 seconds or so. Okay, so just coming up and out of that nice and easy. You're going to feel kind of pretty locked up and stiff when you get into that, but you'll actually feel that your hips will be able to drop down a little bit more into the bottom of the squat after doing that. Is that okay? So you just work through that. It's roughly about 2 minutes or so each time. Then we're just going to do our pigeon stretch. So leg out in front. Okay, so leg out in front, reaching that leg behind. Okay, chest is up, back nice and straight, and lowering all the way down towards the floor, working high up on the outside of my glutes. Okay, so 30 seconds on each side. Then I'm going to do my hip rotations. Okay, so a nice sitting position, wide stance. I'm going to bring my knee down towards my heel. Okay, getting down. The object of this is for your upper body not to move. So I'm keeping my body in a straight line. I'm keeping my arms locked out and pushing through the floor. And then this leg is not to move. Okay, so it's very easy for me to do that and collapse down. It makes it easier then for this one to get down to the floor. So I'm keeping that in that position. That comes up, controlled, down. So my torso isn't being moved, my arms are locked into that position, all the way down. Okay, so that way it just gives you a little bit more feedback. It's a bit more accurate as to what you're actually trying to do. Is that okay? So you'll do 10 to each side with that. Okay, so 2 to 3 rounds of that. Any other kind of flexibility or mobility work you need to do as normal. Then we are going to do a little bit of strength work today. It's a little bit different. So we are going to do what we call isometric holds. Okay, so you're going to hold in 3 different positions of your squat. You're going to hold for between 20 and 30 seconds. Okay, this is difficult. Okay, so you need to kind of just work into these. I wouldn't go necessarily trying to add any kind of mad weight or anything at all when you're doing these. You might just do your first set or 2, even body weight. If you feel okay to do it, then just add small light dumbbell. Okay, so the positions we're going to look at is 90 degrees. Okay, just above the bottom, and then your sticking point. So most people should know where the sticking point is. Okay, so what I mean by your sticking point is when you're squatting, when you're coming up out of the squat, that position where you just feel like, oh, I'm struggling to drive through here, and you kind of have to grind through it at times. Okay, so you should roughly know where that is. So that's your 3rd position. Okay, so 20 to 30 seconds in each position. So we're going to get into your squat stance. Okay, so we're going to look for our first one to be at 90 degrees. So as I squat down, so I'm going to hold 90 degree angle. I'm keeping here, it's not collapsing over and just holding for the sake of holding. It is holding in a good squatting position. I'll hold for between 20 and 30 seconds. Then I'm going to drop down into the bottom of my squat all the way down, and then just lift up slightly. Okay, and then I'm going to hold again for between 20 and 30 seconds. And then I know my sticking point is about there. Okay, so it's just below that 90 degree angle. So again, I'm going to hold that for about between 20 and 30 seconds. Okay, so each position 20 to 30 seconds, making sure everything is the way you would want it to be when you're squatting. So don't just collapse over and just holding for the sake of holding. We want to keep ourselves nice and upright. We want to make sure our feet are driven into the ground, we're crunching our toes, feet aren't twitching and lifting up, and we're not rocking forward and back. You want to be as stable as you can be, so engaging that core, keeping everything nice and tight. Is that okay? So you do each position. Okay, so you'll do your 90-degree angle, you'll do your just above the bottom, and you'll do your sticking punch. You'll do between 20 and 30 seconds, and we're going to be doing 5 rounds of that. After each of the squat iso holds, okay, so you're going to be doing some double under practice. Okay, so do guys use this as a bit of practice. Okay, so you have, we're looking just to do about 1 minute every round. Okay, so if you are on double unders, just trying to practice, get higher up numbers, more sequence as much as you can. Anyone that's still on single, double unders, working on those, and then obviously progressing in towards double under attempts. Is that okay? So after that, 5 rounds of that, we're moving on to our Metcon. Metcon is 4 rounds. Okay, so it is going to be minute 1, minute 2, minute 3, minute 4. Okay, you're going to work for 40 seconds, rest for 20 seconds. Okay, and then you're going to be counting all your reps across all 4 rounds, all 4 minutes. Okay, so the first one is our hollow hold. Okay, so remember with your hollow hold, it is squeezing your lower back against the ground. Okay, so squeezing that lower back against the ground. So everybody, when you lie down onto the ground, you'll have that natural curve in your spine. So what you're trying to do is take that out of it. Okay, so you're trying to push that lower back against the ground. So you shouldn't be able to slide your hand in underneath. Okay, so into that position, squeezing that lower back so I can't get my hand underneath. Feet are about 6 inches or so off the floor. Head and chest are up. Hands behind if we can. If not, it's here. If not, it's elevating slightly or tucking our knees in. Okay, so you're going to hold that for 30 seconds. Then it's our plank ups. Okay, so you're going to do as many plank ups as you can. Okay, so counting your plank ups. Remember with our planks, it is tucking that pelvis under. Okay, so tucking the pelvis under, making sure that we stay in that position all the time. So once we get in, okay, don't allow that lower back to arch, so we don't want the hips to drop down. Okay, so our plank ups, starting in that plank position, pelvis is tucked under, elbow is directly underneath my shoulder, hand replaces that all the way up. Back down, I'm controlling and keeping that position of my pelvis tucked under. It's very easy to get lazy, and all of a sudden, hips are flying out to the side, hips are collapsing down to the floor, so we don't want that. We want to try and avoid that. Okay, so you're counting your plank ups. Okay, then after that is sit-ups, whatever version of sit-ups you normally do. Okay, so with our sit-ups, okay, knees bent, all the way up. Okay, or we can go flat and tucking in, whatever it is you normally do, or some people will go through middle and into that position. It's completely up to you. Okay, so you'll notice that the first 3 are all fairly core orientated. Okay, so this is going to get tough on the core. So it's counting your sit-ups, and then the last one is squat jumps. Okay, so it's getting right down. So we're using our strength work that we've done here. So we're getting right down into the bottom of the squat and being explosive out of the bottom. Okay, so it is squatting down and up, being explosive, land, up, land, up. Try and land. Just notice a lot of people when we do squat jumps and they do this, bring their feet back together, okay, and then they have to get back into that position and then go again. So you should be able to land in the squat stance, so just keeping your stance, maintaining that where you actually are each time. Is that okay? So it is counting all reps, obviously ignoring the hollow hold because that's just a hold. So it is counting the plank ups, counting the sit ups, and counting